about West Central 2025, the entity that the Chamber Board recognized the need to create a few years ago. And today's announcement is going to be one of the first major accomplishments for that entity. Many thanks to everyone for taking the time to join us. And look, I have in my script, and be patient as we navigate technology. We are doing this event a little bit quasi-virtual today. We have a few of the speakers here in attendance at the Chamber, and then the rest of you, of course, joining in the virtual world. If you could, please keep yourself muted throughout the presentation. That will help. On behalf of all of the 6 counties represented in West Central 2025, we're thrilled to be receiving this recognition from the state. Right now, there are many collaborative efforts taking place in our region that all strive to attract, develop, and connect talent. The goals we are collectively tackling are the critical factors in moving our individual counties, as well as our whole region forward. In fact, achieving the 21st Century Talent Region designation was identified as a priority in the CU and Terre Haute 2025 plan, which was released last year. The work we've come together and accomplished through the process of identifying our goals and connecting existing and new strategies will help us build long-term success for our region. This conversation is especially important given the impact of COVID-19. Now, more than ever, it's important for us to consolidate efforts and use every advantage we have to ensure West Central Indiana continues to be a growing, thriving region in the state. It's my pleasure now to introduce Blair Milo, who currently serves as the state of Indiana's first Secretary for Career Connections and Talent. Appointed by Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb in August of 2017, Secretary Milo serves as the state's Chief Talent Officer as Indiana and works to fill an estimated 1 million job openings over the next 10 years. She also serves on the Governor's Workforce Cabinet, a body dedicated to shaping education and workforce training for a 21st century workforce. Welcome, Secretary Milo.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much, Kristen, for all of your tremendous work that you have done, the leadership you have provided. And it's exciting for me to be here with the small crew that we have gathered, as Kristen mentioned, socially distanced here in the facilities, and so excited to be with you all virtually, to all who are tuning in. For those of you that I've had the chance to actually meet in person beforehand, you know that one of the traditions that we usually have and that we would usually keep with the customs in being here would be doing some sort of physical activity as a way of encouraging some attention towards that. So this morning, though, I'm going to hope that all of you are maybe, as you're watching along, maybe just stand up and you can walk around a little bit as you're watching. And hopefully get some steps in today, but wanted to just kind of mention that as we keep the custom of encouraging physical activity, which is just as important now more than ever as we think about all of the things that physical activity brings to our daily lives. And it's a tremendous honor for me to be with this group here this morning that have put so much effort into accomplishing the work of building and implementing a plan to attract, develop, and connect talent as a part of earning this designation as a 21st century talent region. And this initiative was started about a year or so ago, I guess maybe a year and a half or so ago, for being able to help facilitate all of these critical goals and results that need to happen across our entire state, but can't happen without collaboration across lots of different partners, different stakeholder groups. That the role of attracting, developing, and connecting talent doesn't belong just to education or just to businesses or just to local government or economic development. It truly lives in the realm of all of these entities operating together. And so we're excited to be able to recognize the work that has gone into building the plan and implementing that plan for how we're going to accomplish that with specific goals that have been identified by the team as a part of this planning process. And today is really a recognition of the work that has gone into developing that plan and already some of the implementation steps that are underway, but really also noting it as a milestone and not the finish line of our work that is to come. And so as a part of the process that comes from building and implementing this plan, there are two really significant tools that are developed along the way through the partnership with Civic Lab and with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation that helps to provide these kinds of opportunities. And I want to draw your attention to a couple of those tools that have been developed by the team here with West Central 2025. And hopefully then you'll be able to see those come up on your screen. I have the paper version in front of me, but you hopefully have the new age technological version that shows the first tool being what we call, I've got it upside down here, what we call the stakeholder engagement map. And that stakeholder engagement map is the first document that really acknowledges who's all on the team, who are all the different partners that are participating in this work, and identifying not only who's a part of the team, but what kinds of elements are they contributing towards this work of growing the population, increasing our education attainment levels, and raising median household income or per capita personal income. So that's kind of step one of let's get a good sense of who all is a part of the team. And I can share from firsthand experience, not only as a mayor prior to my current role, but in conversations that I've had across the state, we see that there are so many talented partners doing good work. But it was always a question of how does it all come together? How do we make sure that we're all on the same page? And so that's where that stakeholder engagement map is really critical for just, first of all, organizing the team, and then looking next at what are some of the initiatives that are underway? How are those stacking up with the work that we can be collectively doing to ensure that we're hitting the goals that we've set for ourselves? And so the next tool that gets developed is what we call the talent dashboard. And this now is the first iteration of a talent dashboard that has been developed by the West Central 2025 team that, again, hopefully you can see on your screens in a little more detail, since it is a dense document to be sure, where you can see the 3 goal areas that we have around attracting, developing, and connecting talent, and specific measurables that we assign to goals that we're setting for ourselves. And then also looking at I'm going to kind of fast forward to the lower right-hand corner that shows your key economic clusters, occupations that we're looking to be able to fill, but also being forward-looking and understanding what is the future of work telling us that it's going to look like, so that we can plan towards that and ensure that we have a robust talent pipeline, that we're connecting individuals to the careers that are becoming available, and employers to the talent that they are looking for and able to succeed and grow. And so we have sort of on the left-hand side of the talent dashboard, sort of here's where we are right now, with some data points outlined in the yellow boxes. On the lower right-hand corner is more of kind of where we need to go, where the future of work is taking us towards. And this middle section is really, well, how are we going to get there? And how are we holding ourselves accountable to ensure that we're able to reach these goals that we have set for ourselves? As you might guess, anybody that's been a part of some strategic planning processes knows that this is a lot of work. It takes a lot of tremendous leadership and conversations and listening to one another to be able to make this all come together. So I can't overexpress how proud I am of this region for all of the work that has gone into putting together these first really critical tools as we work towards the outcomes that are identified as a part of this planning process. And so with that, I'm very excited to share not only those pieces, but also welcome a key partner who has been with us from the onset of this initiative. Secretary Elaine Beagle was previously serving as the president of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation until she was called up to be able to serve into another capacity as we think about how we are attracting people to the state of Indiana, not only from a tourism perspective, but how are we encouraging people to live and want to grow their families and their businesses here in the state of Indiana. And so I can't express my deep gratitude enough for the partnership that Secretary Beadle has offered along the way through the launch of this initiative and the continued collaboration as she now leads the Indiana Destination Development Corporation. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Secretary Beadle to share a little bit more about some of her thoughts with the transitions that she's seen take place already across the region and what she sees coming forward. And so, Secretary Beadle.
Thank you, everyone. So happy to be able to join you, and thank you, Blair, for those nice comments. The idea of a regionalism, I think, really works. We learned that from the regional cities. initiative that we did. And so when Blair started working on the 21st Century Talent Regions, it was a natural to want to support her. And she's had great leadership through this and great accomplishments. So let me kind of echo and agree with everything that she said. This is hard work. So congratulations. I mean, bringing a group together and successfully collaborating to identify issues and then make plans on how to resolve those issues, solve those issues, move the communities up. It's tough. And so congratulations on getting all of that together and getting that done. I'm very excited about the direction and all of the different pathways that you're now going to be going. You know, my previous life of being in the planning world, I really know and have seen it work, that if you write down these goals and ways that you're going to accomplish them, you get them done. If you don't write them down, maybe you get around to them, but maybe you don't. But you've got a way now to hold each other accountable for how you're moving forward. And I know you'll do all of that, and it'll be great. I kind of remember back the first time that I heard about the 2025 plan. I think I was over in Terre Haute. The Lieutenant Governor was there to make some announcements, and we had the opportunity to kind of tour around. There were a group of us that got together, I think maybe over lunch or whatever time period it was, but there's a group in the room, and that's the first time I heard of the 2020. Now that's been maybe a couple of years ago. Time flies, and to see that you've come to this point and now have gotten the designation of the 21st Century Talent Region, I mean, what a success story. You know, again, when I was there, as Blair had mentioned, I was president of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Today, I'm leading a different effort called the Indiana Destination Development Corporation, again, a quasi-government entity that legislation put into place. We became effective just a few weeks ago, July 1st. And our whole mission is to promote, brand, and tell Indiana's authentic story, to help attract and retain business, talent, students, as well as visitors. So our great overarching goal is to really help every entity within Indiana to attract that talent and keep that talent here. And obviously, talent and the opportunity that we have with students, which is to, once they're here, we've got them in our institutions, and you've got some great ones in West Central Indiana. We've got, 4 to 6 years maybe to convince them this may be a great place, expose them to Indiana so that they know this would be a great place to either take their first job, if not their first, maybe their second, but give them that kind of experience that shows them really the quality of life that we have here and how easy it is to be in Indiana and to accomplish their goals, to reach their potential, and to start building their own net worth. So there's a great story to tell there. You will be the entity through which we tell that story. Now that I'm on this other side, the IDDC, I still need all of the regional organizations to really help us accomplish our goals as well. So bringing in all of the business attraction, but as well as talent attraction, student attraction, as well as visitors is what we're all about. And so we feel like we can tell the right story, we'll help all boats rise. And so we're anxious to work with you, because this is truly, from my perspective, not a replacement of anything that's going on regionally. We want to help amplify and give a stronger voice to what's happening in each of these regions, to tell each of their stories as well. So again, congratulations. Again, West Central has made such great strides in this area of planning and looking and forward looking. You will now be a model. You'll become that role model for a lot of other areas of our state who still need to do that. So thank you for all that you've done, and I look forward to the next steps and seeing where all this leads. So thank you, Blair, for allowing me to be part of this.
Thank you so much, Secretary Beadle, for those remarks and for all of the leadership that you have offered throughout this process. And one of many blessings that we have had throughout the time period that we have been able to move forward with the 21st Century Talent Region Initiative has been the fascinating process of being able to see the different goals that are outlined with each of our regions, taking into account all the different kind of regional personalities, different characteristics of our economies, different assets. And just as Secretary Beadle mentioned, the tremendous leadership that we have in so many different places. And we couldn't have that tailored approach without the regional leadership that comes to the table to be a part of these conversations. And it has been such a treat for me to get to learn from so many different leaders, especially in West Central, from the business sector, from the economic development sector, from the nonprofits, and certainly from the educational sector, from both the K through 12 side of the house, as well as our post-secondary institutions, of which West Central is rich in a number of tremendous institutions that are providing that post-secondary training. And with us today, then we have one of those amazing leaders who has been a tremendous champion of this effort and really the driver of much of the effort for the region, Dr. Dottie King, who is the president of she's the 16th president of St. Mary of the Woods College, and so glad to have her here with us to be able to share a little bit of her perspective of how this process has gone and where we see things moving forward. So at this point, I'll ask Dr. Dottie King to come forward and share some remarks.
Thank you. It's a good day to be here, and I want to talk a little bit about what we've been doing and what it all means from a local perspective. Secretary Milo just mentioned the personality of our region, and I think those are important words in helping us understand why our region would be separate and why we would seek this designation distinctly from other regions in the state. Because if you think about the 6 counties that make up our region, they're very different than counties might look around Indianapolis or Fort Wayne or other parts of the state. So this regional approach, part of West Central 2025, is us coming together and recognizing the strengths that we have, both collectively as a region and then individually in each one of these counties, and along with that, the common challenges that we share. So the regional approach becomes really important to us. We really thought a lot about what challenges do we share as a region. And we identified 2 main ones that might help you understand how we are circling around the notion of talent attraction and retention. First of all, just pure and simple population decline. If you look at what's happening, we are losing population in each of these 6 communities, and then accordingly as our region. And then going along with that, they're connected. The per capita income is lower than average and lower than it needs to be. So we have a high level of poverty and need in our region. And so these 2 things work together in a kind of an insidious way to make it hard for us to move along. And as we look at them as individuals, whether it would be education or businesses or the different community governments, we might all be trying to address these. I know particularly the school corporations are worried because of how it affects their funding. And so each one might be trying to address them. And yet, how much better if we come together and realize if we think about this together as a collective problem, we will more quickly arrive at solutions. There could be resources in one of the counties that another one doesn't have, or a good practice that's happening in one county that another one could share. And that is the process that we're trying to develop here, to lift our entire region up. And what's good for our region is good for the state, and it'll make Indiana stronger. So I'm really excited to do that. I have some people to thank too. You've heard a lot of thanking, but I really want to thank both Secretary Milo and Secretary Vigo, because they've been especially helpful during this time and available to us. As we've had very particular questions, busy women, they've taken time to make sure that we were successful along the way. So thank you. It made a big difference. Kristen, your leadership has already been noted. Congratulations on your recent recognition. And I really think you've done a great job of shepherding this process along. So thank you. Not here, but hopefully out there watching is Leanne Crooks. And she has been a partner with me in the city plan. And then we just kind of combined efforts. So she's a true partner in this, so Leanne Crooks. Rob Hayworth, superintendent of Vigo County Schools and also really leading the Education Alliance, has really become a strong partner here. And finally, Rachel Leslie, and I see some of our JL Solutions team have really been really at the backbone level guiding this. So, and then in addition to that, we've brought several groups together. We've had focus groups that have worked on both sides of the sheet that Secretary Milo shared. And those focus groups became really important as we tried to really dig down, make sure we weren't leaving anyone out, and really find the best goals for our community. So this is an exciting day for us to achieve this, but this is where the work begins. The achievement of this designation just means now we're ready to go. One of our important next steps is going to be to reach out to each of the communities involved in this region and establish this coalition in a way that we now can begin to share information, goals, metrics, and push ourselves forward. So our work is just beginning. You'll hear more from us, and I'm just so excited. Thank you.
The new adjustments that we have to make, masking and unmasking along the way. Well, thank you again, Dr. King, for all of your leadership. And as you heard Dr. King mention that there's a lot of work that's gone into making some specifics as a part of the planning process. And that's something that I really want to call attention to as well. But hopefully you'll take a chance to be able to dive in a little bit further to that dashboard and the stakeholder engagement map that were shared. To learn a little bit about how those conversations have taken shape and think about how the next steps come forward. And that's one of the things that I am so proud of this region for, of the particulars that you have put into the conversations to know, what are the goals that we're setting for ourselves. And as many of you know, then you measure what matters. And that's what you see outlined in the dashboard and what you're going to hear in just a moment as a part of recognizing not only the milestone of today, but seeing this not as a static stopping point, but really as truly just that milestone as we work towards next steps, goals that we've identified for ourselves moving forward, so that today's designation is but one of many more milestones that we'll hopefully get to celebrate as we continue collaborating together. As a part of recognizing this, you have not only the proclamation that I'm going to share in just a second, but we wanted to continue a tradition that recognizes sort of the individual contributions, but also a part of the whole overall. So we adopted what will be distributed when we have an opportunity for more people to be able to gather, maybe on one-on-one bases or small groups. But I'll at least highlight it today that you will be receiving these 21st Century Talent Region Challenge coins. And so for those of you that understand some of the history that exists in the tradition within particularly the military communities, that then these are often given by the commanding officer to someone who has demonstrated a remarkable achievement and wants to recognize that work. So we wanted to continue that tradition here with sharing those individuals. So you'll have this little, it's got the seal of the 21st Century Talent Region as well as then the seal of the state of Indiana on the other side. So those will be available for some folks. And so at this point, it is my honor to be able to share with you a proclamation on behalf of Governor Holcomb. And it is a State of Indiana Executive Department Executive Order Proclamation. To all to whom these presents may come, greetings. Whereas the state of Indiana has cultivated a strong and diverse economy to ensure Indiana remains an attractive destination for companies to start here and existing companies to reinvest, grow, and innovate here. And whereas Hoosier businesses, workers, communities, and students alike are impacted by rapid advancements in technology, changing their awareness of and access to infrastructure needed to ensure the skills necessary to compete in a global marketplace. And whereas talent attraction, development, and connection are keys to continued economic investment growth. And whereas growing a 21st century talent is no longer the province of any single agency, organization, or unit of government alone, but involves collaboration across public and private sectors at the state, regional, and local levels. And whereas the 21st Century Talent Region Initiative was launched to ensure every student is on a learning path to adult prosperity. Every adult Hoosier has access to training aligned to work with future growth opportunities, and every employer has the tools they need to recruit, train, and retain talent. And whereas the West Central 2025 region has committed to working across geographic lines to attract, develop, and connect talent, while working together with the Office of Career Connections and Talent, Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and Civic Lab. The region is developing a data-driven plan to grow population, increase education attainment, and raise household income. And whereas West Central 2025, a 6-county region encompassing Clay, Parke, Putnam, Sullivan, Vermillion, and Vigo Counties, commenced implementation of priorities identified in the plan to receive a designation as a 21st Century Talent Region, and identified the goals to: 1, immediately begin building individual community teams focused on leveraging placemaking strategies and related performance goals, examining data to determine next steps in achieving equitable opportunities for the entire West Central Indiana population, and growing partnerships across the region. 2, by the end of 2020, analyze available data and work to complete regional goal setting for talent attraction and connection milestones. And 3, by 2025, halt population decline to a negligible number and connect talent with equitable economic opportunities to raise per capita personal income to 85% of the state average. Now, therefore, I, Eric J. Holcomb, Governor of the State of Indiana, do hereby designate the West Central 2025 region as a 21st Century Talent Region and invite all citizens to duly note this occasion. Congratulations. And this would be the point. I hope all of you in your living rooms and offices are applauding all on your own here. And so it will be my honor to hand this off to Kristen here, socially distanced, for you to display. And a huge thank you again to everyone who has participated in this process. And I really encourage you to take a dive into those tools that have been developed. And as you heard from Dr. King, you're going to be hearing more from this leadership team, and we look forward to the opportunity to continue traveling with you on this journey and accomplishing the goals that you have set for yourself and the specific goals outlined in that proclamation. So thank you for your leadership. Congratulations on this milestone, and we look forward to many more milestones together.
Thank you so much. I really just want to show my appreciation for everybody here in this room, everybody joining us online, and in particular, Secretary Milo and Secretary Beadle. This has been an amazing process that has really allowed us to align strategies in ways I just really honestly never thought possible. So I really have enjoyed this, and thank you all again for your guidance throughout this. That is the end of today's presentation. There'll be more information coming out forthcoming about the designation and how you can get involved. So thank you all for joining us today. Have a great day.